yo, it's your boy Ancient Albatross here again with the Cypher Unlimited crew. We have our usual suspects of AD or Alphadean. We have Spiggs 18 or Anthony. And just as a quick reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to follow us here on Twitch or subscribe to us over on YouTube. It's a great help for our channel. And coming soon to Moonbeam. It's already live in alpha, but it is a closed alpha. We'll be going live to the public at some point. But yeah, we are there as well. But without any further ado, Dean, what are we doing here tonight?
Tonight's gonna be chill, Al. We're just gonna sit back, kick the woolly bobo. We haven't been on the air in a few weeks. Missed you guys, missed the community. We just want to talk about, what's going on out there. There's been various things happening. Life has happened for all of us. Probably not gonna get into all that because that's harrowing, boring, and make you feel bad inside. Was it depressing? Yeah. But let's talk about gaming. Let's talk about all the cool shit that's coming in 2025. Let's talk about what we saw in 2024. You know,
that's all great. First of all, I miss you guys too. I was on for 2 seconds in the last stream because of technical difficulties, but I think I figured that out. And I miss you guys, man. It's been a while. It's been a while since the three of us been freaking on there together. So that's awesome as well. And let's just chat. We'll get a cool conversation going with chat. So what's been up in the last, I feel like I haven't spoken to you for the whole new year. So anything new and exciting has happened?
Al, you want to start us out, or you want me to take the reins?
I'll start off just because I don't have too much to talk about, honestly. But the one thing that's cool is I have to go over it, but I think I'm done actually fully writing the raw base of my book, The Entropic Isles.
Nice.
All the creature entries have been filled, all the including the custom pledge level ones. We got 3 very cool custom monsters. I can talk about those in a little bit if we want to. But I finished those guys. I finished the all the ciphers, artifacts, and cursed artifacts, which are new to the book, a new thing coming to this book. All done. They seem really cool. I'm excited for people to see them and try them. And I'll be honest, a lot of the artifacts, if you have a keen eye or know the same games I play, you'll know what they're inspired by. So a lot of the artifacts are Monster Hunter weapons. I will just say that one. We'll leave it there because I love Monster Hunter and I wanted to incorporate some of the weaponry you see in that game into my game, just as powerful artifacts. But yeah, I'm really excited with how it's turned out. And
as the CU lawyer, they Monster Hunter inspired.
Yeah, I said inspired. I said inspired.
You did say my inspirations.
They were my inspirations.
Not Monster Hunter. what Monster Hunter's what? Namco?
No, Capcom.
So.
Capcom.
No, it's Capcom sues the fuck out of people.
But also, they're not named.
They definitely Monster Hunter inspired weapons.
They all have different names than what they have for Monster Hunter, so I'm good.
you don't mess with Nintendo, Capcom, or Namco. They're quick on the sue buttons.
Or did you say Hasbro or Hasbro too? I know.
Don't forget Hasbro. They just gonna come in and strong arm you and shit.
Don't send I was gonna say they'll send the Pinkertons here.
Crazy. But yeah, the book is I'm really liking how it's come out. It's great stuff. And yeah, next step will be layout. Well, like I said, I gotta proof it first. I gotta get that done. I've done some editing, but I need a third party person, not me, to read it over and make sure it looks good and whatnot.
I got a third-party proofer for you if you really want one, Al. They're really reasonable.
I'll let you know. But yeah, that's the next step, and then layout and blah, blah, blah. But the important part is the writing's all done now.
So what was the hardest part, Al? From the design side, what did you find was the most difficult to write for? I
struggled the most with which entries took me, because I always approach. I've mentioned this before. Is like whatever I feel like I got the spirit for writing, like I got the mood for it. I write it. I think I finished the creatures last, so I think I did struggle the most with like coming up with interesting creatures, I think. But I think what I have is really cool. Like I did something very similar to what you see in the Cypher System Bestiary, where a lot of the, not every single entry, but some of the entries have like tables that you roll that'll make them unique. Like in the beta test or the play test, one of the entries, and Dina's talked about it on stream, was the Rune Wolves. Like the Rune Wolves have a table that you roll on to see like what magic the pack is imbued with, and you see things like that with. I have a what I call chaos instructors, which are like reanimated armors, and you have to roll on a table to see which classification of armor it is. What is it, a soldier or a knight or a general? Thing, and I even though I struggled with it, I still think the entries are good and like unique, and will like you can I think throw them in almost any game if you really like them. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool.
DM Jack said he calls those tables flare tables.
Nice.
And yeah, Zeus, thanks again for the subscription. 12 months.
Subscription, 12 months to go.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
And so, yeah, very similar to that, Jack. Very similar to that.
So man, you go next, because I do have a lot to talk about.
Mine was a little more depressing. We had some medical issues with my son. For those that don't know, my son has special needs, and sometimes he has other issues that on top of that. So my mind and all my focus was on that for pretty much the last month or so. So I haven't been doing any gaming, for the exception of some video gaming, which I want to talk about. I fell down a rabbit hole of MMOs again when you want the stress release, and I started playing New World, and I think New World is freaking awesome for Cypher System. I think it's kind of tailor-made, so we could talk about converting New World. The characters are essentially immortal, and they're stuck on an island. Just long story short, they're stuck on an island, and it has every dynasty has representatives there. So they have, Romans, Greek, Egyptian, and I'm not sure if they do, but they might, because I'm only like level 30, but But the main premise is that you can't die. So even if you get killed, you just, you reborn. So it's sort of like a little Gods of the Fall, and all your powers come from your weapons. So it's really easy to do. So I was thinking that, quick and dirty, like we like to do, is you give everybody an artifact at tier 1 and apply the abilities. You level up the artifacts as opposed to leveling up the character. So I think it'll be cool to do a one or a small campaign in the new world. I think it's Artherum New World Universe. It'll be pretty cool.
Sweet.
And I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals and a lot of Undisputed. When you have like an hour, 45 minutes, it's just quicker to just grab a joystick or get on the computer and play something.
Yeah,
I installed Marvel Rivals, but I'm afraid to play it. I know when I go to sit down and play it, I'm gonna just lose mad hours. I'm gonna like turn it on at like 5 o'clock, like in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, I'm home from picking up everybody. Let me just hop on. And it's gonna be midnight. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, but you're a hardcore gamer. I am. When you look up casual in the book, there's a picture of me. I am the gamer casual, the gamer dad that has 45 minutes to play. That is me. You are a hardcore gamer. I will pick up a game and then play it for 48 straight hours. What are you doing? I'm playing it. Oh, you woke up early? No, I'm still playing from last night.
It's been a while since I've done marathons like that, but
when they tell you a game has 40 hours of gameplay, Al finishes it in the first 3 days.
No, I shit you not. When Splatoon 2 dropped, I swear to God, Al must have played like 48 straight hours.
Remember, there's a few titles where that warrant that sort of attention from me. So Splatoon is one of them. So when Switch 2 comes out and Splatoon 4 eventually comes out, same shit's I'm gonna drop 2 days, like a weekend on it. And Monster Hunter is another one that I'm gonna drop. Like when Monster Hunter Wild comes out next month, you guys are not gonna hear from me for a weekend or whatever. Like I'm gonna throw crazy time at that game. Like,
it's funny because I want to be more than a casual gamer, but I am very much because you know what, my rabbit hole is when I sit down to write. I lose my mind. Like you guys. If I start writing and I'm in the zone, I'll write 12, 13, 14 hours. You know, but
Dean, I think you would like Marvel Rivals though.
oh no, listen. It's funny that because I was laughing when you first mentioned it because I want to play it. I want to test it out. But what I did was I was telling Al, I have an OEM version of Windows on my computer, so it doesn't log your 25-digit code. So I wanted to put in a new hard drive in my computer because the one I had was only 500 gigs, and that's not enough space for games and shit. Not today, you know. So I was going to put the 2 terabyte in. Well, I had to clone it. I cloned my hard drive instead. After cloning the hard drive, you know, fooling around, it booted up the first time, no problem. Then it wouldn't boot. And I'm like, what the hell is telling me is that it's not finding a bootable, an executable. I'm like, what? Go back in, put it back into the, the cloner and everything and look at it. For some reason, it booted, it cloned everything, but it didn't make it an active drive. So I had to I had to take my computer apart again, make it an active drive. So now I got enough space. I will be downloading Marvel Rivals sometime this week, probably this weekend.
Hey, Jason, 52 freaking months. That's so awesome. Thanks again for the sub. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Jason. And once again,
that's like a marriage. I feel like I'm married to Jason.
And once again, Jason, I just want to let you know again, there is no hate for you still being a prepper. Prep away, you know?
Before we leave the topic of video games, I do want to mention I have been playing the shit out of Monster Hunter, like just because Anthony talked about how like I get hardcore into gaming, right? There's a fight in Monster Hunter World. It's not the latest one. Rise is the latest one. The one before that, World, is the last fight of the game called Fatalis. That fight is so much fun and one of the hardest fights they've ever put out. I like it so much. My past maybe 150 to 200 hours of gameplay have just been that fight. Fighting it with different weapons. Wait
a minute, 150 hours on one fight? You said 150 hours?
Like it's not one fight in a row. It's maybe.
I mean, 150 hours in one zone or stage.
But you're like, is what I'm saying is I fought it repeatedly. Up to 150 hours. Not that one fight lasts 150 hours. But I love that fight. This is just I love it. I love Monster Hunter. But what I really wanted to talk about was Enter the Gungeon, another hardcore game I've been playing. It's a bullet hell dungeon crawler. But the reason I wanted to bring it up before we got off video games because it got me thinking about maybe planning like a mega dungeon style game, right, where it's like incredibly difficult, where the characters could die, but you steal that premise from Gungeon or roguelikes in general, where when they die they just have a respawn point, right, and they can't escape the dungeon until they collect all these secret little artifacts that are hidden, or not artifacts, but trinkets, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And once they collected all 6 or whatever in the varying little parts of the dungeon, they can go and face the final boss that unlocks the last room or whatever, and then they can finally escape the dungeon. Their eternal I don't know, that premise. If you've played Dungeon,
if we did it in Cypher, you know what you could do that's actually really cool? You could abandon the using XP to level up, and every time they pick up a trinket, they immediately level up. So the XP that they get during the game could just be for buying shorter long-term rerolls.
Yeah, I like using artifact collection, and that's
And I would use
like you collect that artifact, you tier 2.
It's like a milestone. I would use that as a milestone. Like, hey, the group collected an artifact. Everybody tier up.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. Or I could see not necessarily if you wanted to extend it. I wouldn't necessarily let them tier it, but maybe pick 2 abilities towards the next tier. That way you could get, if you wanted to make it a longer campaign. If you just wanted it short, quick, and dirty, then every time artifact came into play, but every time a player finds an artifact, then everybody gets to pick another
No,
ability.
but I was assuming that you wouldn't find an artifact every session anyway. It'll be like
So I'm picturing it like when I say mega dungeon, I mean I'm talking like a 200 like 50 room like mega dungeon like.
Nice.
yeah.
Because let me just what excited me about this was in Enter the Gungeon, you don't really get any story outside. There's an intro screen that tells you a little bit about like the basic premise, I guess, but like you don't. There's 4 main characters, and you don't hear anything about why they're in the gungeon, nothing like that, right? Until you meet certain specific, like you collect these certain pieces, you collect this thing. You're trying to kill your past, so you never entered the gungeon, basically. So you craft the bullet that kills the past, and you go back to the past, and that's when you learn the story. And you go back to that moment, and you do things differently, and that's how you quote unquote kill the past. And I thought that was super fascinating. Like they're all stuck in this place, and they can't get out until they again face this dungeon, face its secrets, find its secrets. And then that allows them the magic to go back into the past to make it so they never even got into the dungeon. Like it's a crazy ass story. Like I'm bewildered that it actually has a story, and it's insane. Like it's wild. It's so hard to see the story because it's such a hard game.
So two things right quick before I forget. One, when you said the 150 hours, my mind went to the South Park episode, the WoW episode. Remember they were playing so long that his mother bought like the little shit. He had a poop in the little.
Thankfully, I'm not at that level.
Thank God, right?
And 2, it got me thinking: has there been a really successful video game transition into a role playing game that you know of? Like off the top of my head, I can't really think of one. I'm sure chat.
I've seen it go the other way. I've seen RPGs transition into video games.
Jason said Fallout.
Have y'all read the Fallout one? I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
I've heard good things. I've heard
Fallout. Yeah.
I forgot about Fallout, but the Fallout game, yes, is actually pretty good. Oh, wait a minute. The other one, it's actually animated now, and it's become a game too.
So
was it a video game first that became a role-playing game?
Yeah, I have the smallest knowledge of games of all 3 of us, TTRPGs that is. And most of the time when people or these companies adapt IPs, they're either books or movies or, like, what is it, podcasts.
Call of Cthulhu, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but those became role-playing games. I mean, video games after the role-playing game. I want to know if it was the reverse. Like Fallout is a perfect example, like Jason said. Something like Fallout that was a video game, and then someone converted it into a role-playing game.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a good one. What DM Jack said, Fallen London, which is Sunless Sea, Sunless Skies. I've heard great things about those games, but I've never played them. Yeah, that's upcoming though. I don't think it's come out yet.
I just wanted to bring up too. DM Tales. He said about what you were talking about, Al. That would be. He said artifact tearing up and using XP for rerolls and whatnot would totally Zeldify Cypher. Yeah.
Zelda's another one that is tailor made for a role playing game.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, it has a great world. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, they mentioned Mutant Year Zero. I want to say that Mutant Year Zero was a role-playing game before it was a video game, but I'm not entirely sure about that.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I actually did an internet search, and I really didn't get anything other than
the reason why I brought it up, right, is because you remember when we did the top 10 favorite IPs that people wanted? Like 3 or 4 of them were video games.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why more companies are not. Maybe the IPs are too expensive.
DM Tales said Heroes of Sorelia is a Zelda clone.
It's a Zelda clone. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably what you're saying, that the IPs are too expensive. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the IPs are too expensive because when you think about it, what I think happens is I don't think there's as much cross pollination between video gamers and RPG players as you think.
Was there
It's
a
true,
WoW
it's
RPG at one time?
Yeah,
Was
I
it D?
don't know.
yeah, there was.
A
There
TTRPG?
was. Yeah, I think there was.
RPG for a while at one point.
So that's another one. So all right. So far we got
I know-
Fallout and WoW.
I know two very
I'm a-
niche ones. I know two very niche ones. Very niche. Hyperlight
Let me look
Drifter.
that up.
Hyperlight Drifter was a video game first. Then the creator said, "I'm gonna make it a TTRPG," but it's the same guy. It's not. He didn't a company didn't adapt it. It's just the same dude. And then there's also Neopets. Neopets as a TTRPG, and I consider that a video game.
Oh, there was a WoW RPG. It came out in 2014.
Yeah.
So that's another one.
But I think me and Al kind of hit the nail on it. It's more tabletop RPG players play video games than video game players play RPGs.
Yeah, that's true. But that doesn't mean that you can expose the universe to a different audience.
I'm not saying that isn't a thing. I'm saying though because I don't think the creators of a lot of video games even think about the TTRPG communities. I don't think they think about us like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we always the what you call it, the stepson.
I know we start everything, but yet we still get last. We're last to be thought about.
I like what Jason asked here because it's a great piggyback off Dean's point. There's a ton of crossover. Video RPGers play TTRPGs, but if you love a game as a video game, do you want to play it with paper and dice? It's funny, I definitely do, but I think as a whole, most video gamers wouldn't care. Like,
yeah.
I think video gamers are different than tabletop RPG players in the sense.
I agree with all those points, right? Like, and everything that everyone's saying in the chat is 100% correct. But you can apply that to any logic when it comes to podcasts, wherever they're drawing those IPs from. The majority of those audiences are not playing table. Like, let's keep it real. Do you think that most Magnus Archive listeners were role-playing game enthusiasts before they made a role-playing game out of it?
Probably not.
But, that same logic, if you use that same logic, it doesn't mean that they can't use those IPs.
I'm never saying that they wouldn't do it or they couldn't do it. What I'm saying is I'm thinking about the mentality. I realized like Al was saying, like me, like you, we're gamers. We're tabletop RPG players, so we're always trying to expand the lore. We're always we want to experience it more and more. If it's a TV show, if it's a video game or what, we want to experience it in a medium that we are used to explore the world. Whereas I think like most video gamers or people who listen to podcasts, they're escaping. It's their escape moment where we're going to be like, hey, man, let's get to the nuts and bolts,
Jack also said Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I like what Jason said. We'll have to ask Free League and Evil Genius, I assume, about the IP acquisition, because they have a ton.
They always are getting something that's different, or mainstream. But so real quick, let me just give you guys a quick update on everything that's been going on in the Alphadean realm. I've been writing like a madman. I am probably by the end of this month, between the end of this month and mid-February, my quick start will be done for the September Legacy. I've already, I showed Anthony and Al some of the layout.
Absolutely gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you. I'm like I said, but I plan on basically getting this quick start together, and I want to start dispensing it to the Cypher community, start getting feedback, still writing the rest of the book. And hopefully the crowdfunder will be either late this year or early next year that I plan to launch the crowdfunder. But I just want to bring some awareness. I'm going to have a website coming up soon. I'm going to do a one-page website and start creating a mailing list. And, hopefully the community will be as excited and stoked about it as I am. I'm going to, and then I've been doing the conventions. I did Page. This year, Page was awesome. It's a small little convention. It was only the second year. and for a turnout like that for a second year convention was pretty impressive.
What you do at Page?
It's gaming. It's a massive gaming convention. Page stands for Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo, and it's.
I mean, what you do? Did you play games? Did you?
I played. I didn't play as much as I probably should have because I was just so enamored with meeting people. You know, I hung out with Wes. DM Tales was there. I hung out with the guys from Avenue Studios. They were there. Found some interesting games and some more interesting writing tools. Like I said, the dealer room, the dealer area was freaking awesome. Got to meet the guys from oh my god, and I can't think of the name of their company. We know their books. They do the Dungeon Crawl Classics, and oh god, who does Dungeon Crawl Classics now?
Oh shit, I'm blanking too. It's right. I have it literally right here. Wait, no, it's not right here. It's in my closet. No, I'm not in the closet anymore. It's in my
What are you
closet.
talking about? Goodman Games?
Goodman Games.
There we go.
But yeah, they were there. I got to meet a lot of the creators.
Dude, we interviewed Goodman Games like 2 years ago.
I know. I can't remember the name of the company, but they were there. They have a new book out. They actually have a universal game book out now. You know, universal system using their system where you can. Yeah, it was there at the convention.
What's it called?
They have a universal system. What's that called?
I'm gonna look that up like ASAP, bro. What is it called?
Give me a second.
Because I love it in premise, but I never got to play MCC.
I'll be honest. All the funky dice.
Yeah, I love the Zochi dice. I have them right here. I got my Zochi dice right here. I never get to use them.
I like all those proprietary dice.
Those are proprietary. Those are not specifically for MCC. MCC uses them, but
I think they're the only ones that use them.
Yes, I believe so, but it's called a Zochi set, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And
like who the hell uses a D9?
I don't think anybody else does. D7. It's like it does everything. It's like a D. I think a D3, a D4, a D5, a D6, D7, 8, 9, 10. I think 12. I'm forgetting the full range, but it's a fucking goofy range.
I just want to give Jack his props because Jack mentioned Dragon Age, which started the Fantasy Age system. That is the first RPG, like, I think that had, like, major leap. Like, the Dragon Age RPG was actually really successful. So props to you, Jack, on that. Yeah, I actually own Dragon Age.
DM Tales says Monty Python uses the Zochi.
Somebody, DM Jack put up The Witcher 2. Which is another one that got a tabletop RPG.
No, I don't think it's out yet. I don't think The Witcher 1's out yet. It's coming out. But yeah, those funky dice. Don't get me wrong. Every time I played Dungeon Crawl Classics, I had a good time. It's just that the dice always threw me off for a loop.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count Witcher as it was books, then video game, then RPG. Says I am MC.
Well, that's true too.
The Witcher RPG is out?
It went full circle.
Dragonstar, the Witcher RPG is out?
Book.
Oh! Speaking of, Dragonstar, I think Dragonstar is out, and you guys know that Alligator Alley, that what's the name's got Fantasy Star. Fantasy Star is being redone too.
Oh yeah, Fantasy Star Online, right?
That's
Fantasy Star Online. Well, he has it now to do it as an RPG.
That's a crazy IP to pick up for an RPG. I wonder what it's gonna be like.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like I said, there was a lot of cool stuff there.
I mean, I'm gonna put up a poll after this because we could do a video on that top 10 role-playing game. I mean, top 10 video games that should be an RPG.
Sounds like a good one.
And maybe we could put top 10 video games that should be an RPG and what system would best be suited for that. Because I know we Cypher guys, but let's be realistic too. I don't think Cypher system would be best suited for every single one.
It's suited for everything. You bite your tongue.
You know what, Anthony? I'm gonna smack you. But
Your arms,
no,
your
the
arms
only-
are too short to box with God.
Minesweeper.
that means I'm gonna smack the top of your head off, though.
Yo, Cat Hub said Minesweeper.
Jason said Tetris.
You can
Bruh.
use Car Wars.
Bruh.
Oh man. But yeah, I think I think that would be cool though. But I mean, I look at it this way. I think Cypher can run just about anything depending on how you mod it. But a lot of video games,
I do agree, but I think that rogue-like games could do better in a different system.
Oh no! I'm not saying. I was
like those
getting ready
games
to
where-
say that like some other games, depending on the video game, some of them I think would benefit from maybe their own system and not an existing system because, unless it's an existing system that was built or predicated on the idea of being kind of universal, like Savage Worlds. Savage Worlds got a nice amount of crunch to it, but it's not too crunchy. But it works. I really like Savage Worlds. I enjoy Savage Worlds a lot, But again, 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other.
But we can't just for like dealing with the public, right? If you put it could be your own system, I guarantee your top 10 will be all I invented the perfect system for this. Like we wouldn't get the interaction of use this system to convert it. You're gonna get, oh, I want to play Silent Hill, and I have my own murder by the numbers system that I designed for it. like if you put that as an option, you know what I mean?
Right. So
Jesus said actually Tetris would use Dread.
Yeah. Tetris. Yo, fuck that. We can make a Tetris game. Yo, first of all, Jason, you can write a Tetris game. That's your homework, Jason.
That's Jason's wheelhouse right there.
You need to come up with a Tetris one shot. You're escaping the blocks or something, but you can definitely do it, Jason. That's definitely in your warehouse.
That's goofy.
I want you to do Tetris in a one shot.
It would really have to be one of them where you would have to kind of flip it on its ear, because you think about it with Tetris, I would probably have you play like different character. I would come up with like different archetypes, maybe like an engineer archetype, and that's the archetype that would come up with ways to fit the blocks. But fitting the blocks together might be how you're powering your community or something,
like how would you? Because there's two ways of tackling Tetris, right?
Yes.
Like, one is like, are you going to turn Tetris into an escape game where your characters are trapped in this thing where they're shifting blocks, and the whole adventure is trying to escape that? Or you could go the Toon route where you're the fucking blocks themselves and figure out a way to make that make sense. Get all Salvador Dali on them and do some, so.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to approach Tetris for a TTRPG, bro.
I'd have to try. You know what? I'd probably have to eat like a pound of gummies and just sit there.
Yeah, DM Jackson, you're a team of shapes, just trying to find where you fit. First of all,
that's like every game.
Tetris should be the perfect improv game.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can make Tetris work. I like the idea of playing the shapes.
So you do it. That's your homework now. I want to see how you figure that out. Because that sounds... you got to abstract it a ton to make it a TTRPG. Like...
And Ken Up, this stream is just us saying hello for the new year. We're on here because it's been a few weeks. We haven't been on. We haven't talked about anything. And so now we're just talking about what has been happening.
Why have we missed from MCG since we've been away? We haven't talked about that.
Well, let me see. As far as things that have been released, they've released the Lightner bookmarks. Hold on. Let me pull up the MCG store real quick.
There's a few things that came out in recent weeks, months.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the horizon.
Jason said the Magnus tape.
The
Chad
cassette.
is IMMC is saying they need Neon Rain now. We definitely need Neon Rain, and this is something that fell through the cracks. Is we were trying to get Sean to come back on to do a part 2 of Neon Rain, and I just since I was, going through my shits, I didn't contact him, but I'm definitely going to do that to get him back on.
So.
Neon Rain is the Cyberpunk one, Jack.
Rust and Redemption
Okay,
is the other one.
The character folios are out. The Lightner book plates are out. The Guest for Mr. Spider is out. Invisible Sun prop set 2 is out. The cassette tape for the Magnus Archives is out. And the Creature Deck 2 is out. The PDF at least. So plenty of goodies. Oh, and the Magnus Archive Deluxe Edition is available.
Oh, and the character generator added pre-gens, right?
Right, the character generator added pre-gens.
That character generator is really cool. I just haven't really got a chance to fuck around with it.
I play with it. I play with it here and there. I'm gonna have some fun with it. When I go to make some pre-gens, because I'm definitely gonna try to get myself together. I want to try to at least this year run a few one shots, run a mini campaign.
I haven't run anything in like 2 months.
It's been a minute for me too. It's been quite a minute for me.
I haven't run anything since CypherCon.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Yeah, I
played at least. I will, unless you count solo play. I have played a bit of solo play, but I have not run anything since CypherCon.
Yo, what do you guys think about us doing a 1-day con just so we could have an excuse to work?
Bruh. No, don't even mention that. Don't even mention that. You're going to get the community in an uproar. Bruh. I mean, you could tell your wife that and we could play some games, but we are not running no convention.
Nah, baby. I got to be at the computer all day. It's Cypher's 1-day con. No, come on. We owe the community that. Let's plan a 1 fucking day con. Stop being lazy.
Bro, you wildin', bro.
Well,
we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
You know what that means? That means a yes, y'all, because I just wear them down by constant nagging. So I'll be bringing this up for the next 3 weeks, and I'll eventually be like, all right, fuck it, shut up. We'll do it.
And it's bad that you can say that out loud and it works.
Can't help is what's the we. I know, yeah, can't help. It was me and can't help. We were the team. The dynamic
I was
duo.
there.
Yeah.
Everybody was around. You guys just
everybody except for D.
I was there. What are you talking about?
You was there in spirit. You was like Jesus Christ.
I like what DM Tail said.
You was in our hearts.
DM Tail said, just call it a day of adventure and the stress of con goes away.
Oh, and everybody knows that the Tangled Web is coming soon. Well, it says it's going to launch early, so that's probably this February or March that we're going to get that from the Magnus Archives, which is the more Magnus Archives goodies.
Is it Magnus? Yeah, Magnus Archives got the second Kickstarter that got fulfilled.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I just realized something. You said the name of the new Magnus Archives thing is a Tangled Web?
Tangled in the Web.
Oh, because we have a voice chat called Tangled Web on the Discord, and that was original. Like, that was there since the beginning. Like, right. Holy shit! I didn't just now realize that.
FCG still in. I'm calling the lawyer now.
Yeah, we need like somebody.
We need 15% of that whole bank account.
Oh shit! That's a funny ass. I didn't realize.
Jason said that's true. That's how we got it. Cypher Bestiary, Spiggs nagging.
It took
Facts.
3 whole years of that. It
Facts.
took 3 whole years of nagging, but it happened. And these guys are witnesses. I was also nagging off air. Every time I saw Charles,
like I said, he wasn't alone in his nagging in that one because I think we all were like cyber mystery. Yeah.
Worth
but
the
I was
wait.
nagging on air and nagging off air every time I saw anybody.
Anthony was the instigator because what he would do is he would mention it and then get everybody riled up. They're like, "Oh yeah, so and you could do this and you could do that." Anthony instigated everything.
Well, that's another great question. And chat. We need a new book to nag about? What do we need that isn't coming out that we have to start bitching about?
I keep saying steampunk. I know you're not a fan, but steampunk would be awesome. Pulp would be awesome. You know, chat. What else you got?
I would want to, and I don't know if this would be something that everybody would want, but I would want a cipher system. Now that we got the bestiary, I would want a cipher system equipment list, equipment book like that has artifacts for multi-genres, ciphers for multi-genres that are not in anything.
DM Jack said Primordial Fantasy, and DM Tail said West said Magic Punk.
Mm-hmm. I know. I've been bitching about anime for a couple of years now.
Well, specifically,
IMMC mentioned pirates, but I think that's going to be, you're going to see that soon. I think that's in the next batch. We don't know for sure, but I'll bet my left nut that it's in there.
What I would like to see, and I know we already kind of have it with the Jade Colossus, but with the Gungeon that I've been playing, all this Gungeon, I would love to see them either revamp it or make like maybe a setting agnostic one. Because that J Colossus is specifically Numenera, yes?
Yeah.
Not that you can't really retool it yourself.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them maybe do another like dungeon generator type book. Because J Colossus was cool, but again, it's tied to Numenera. You gotta work it a little bit if you want to do other things. Yeah, that's what I could think of. That would be.
But
cool.
you know that what you
we need a universal book to nag about. We haven't had a before the bestiary came out, we had a universal book that I think the majority of the community was like, yeah, we freaking need this.
Why
we
not
haven't had one of those.
Why not? I think what you said kind of hit on it, Anthony. Why not a universal equipment book?
That's a good one.
A book with just stuff. Artifacts, equipment, so from every genre.
Ciphers, yeah.
Ciphers,
I think that's a really good one.
Because I mean, we haven't had anything like that honestly since Strange.
Yeah,
we haven't had.
I mean, it's sad to say, but I'll still say this, and I still stand by this. The best equipment section in any book so far has been Vert.
Oh yeah, agreed.
That's another good one. What Kedub said, another character options book, like just straight up, just no Steam or nothing. Just here's more options. Like we saw that in, I think that was Numenera, right? Character options 1 and 2. Like it would be nice to see that for Cypher system.
That's a good one too. A Cypher system character option.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it could be system agnostic. I mean, or setting agnostic. It's definitely for Cypher system, but
Path of the Planebreaker did have a really cool equipment section as well.
Jason came up with a good one. Victorian would be cool. Cozy stuff is so huge right now.
Yeah, someone else mentioned that. They said Victorian horror.
But Victorian in general, whether it's horror. I mean, think about it. If they do a Victorian book, we could get horror, steampunk.
But if you look at like the last few cycles, right? Horror's been touched on. They went from ignoring horror for the longest time to giving you a shitload of different horror genres.
Right, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. If the Victorian book came out, I could just see the Victorian book actually covering like all of those little aspects because steampunk fits in the Victorian really good.
DM Tales mentioned Muppet Babies, but a Cypher System toon book would be hella cool too.
Well, we talked about that before. That would be cool.
I would like to see a toon book.
Oh, instead of just Victorian, just a historical book that breaks down different eras: Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age.
That's a cool
That
idea.
could work too, kid. That would actually be pretty damn cool.
What was that game? The remember Jeff D wrote that when we interviewed him, he said he had a Stone Age.
Cave Master.
Where you use rocks and sticks
Yep.
instead of dice.
Yep. Cave Master. Speaking of which, Jeff D was at the
You have that book. You have that book, right?
Yes.
I want to read it. I haven't read it.
Yeah, and we should play that in person. I'm curious to see how the mechanic works of just using rocks and sticks.
It's pretty wild because basically how he designed it is literally designed as if cavemen, this is a game cavemen would have played themselves. So the character sheet looks like
hit somebody in the back of the head and take all this stuff like 1 hour into the game.
It's basically the character sheet is basically, it looks like a animal skin. It looks like an animal pelt, and you got to draw like little weird cave pictures and stuff on it for your stats and where your rocks and stuff go. You know, because different size rocks mean similar to what you're saying. You know, you can bonk somebody. Well, this rock is good for smacking people. And this rock is good for, you know, distractions and so on and so forth.
I have the PDF somewhere. I gotta find it.
Yeah, I got the PDF, but I know the book. I got the physical book.
I know you bought the book. I didn't buy the book. I bought the PDF, but I never read it. I'll be honest. I never read it.
Yeah, I went through it, you know, and it was just fun talking to Jeff about it, you know, because he was there. And I picked up, speaking of that, I picked up, you know, some more stuff for Mighty Protectors. I picked up War Heroes and which is their World War II superhero setting book, which is freaking great. You know, did I put that over? Where did I put that?
Yeah, it's been a while since we got to talk to chat, which is freaking awesome. I missed everybody in chat, and just I haven't played Cypher in so long. I'm kind of getting withdrawals.
Oh, I'm definitely going through withdrawal. I just trying to remember where I stuck the book on the shelf. That's the only disadvantage to having all those books on that shelf over there. Not a disadvantage, it's actually a great advantage because now I just have things to choose from. It's just when I want to put my hands on it for a video, I can't.
See you later, DM Tales. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi to us.
Yep, good night, buddy. Have a good one.
Oh, that Godforsaken, is that a poster or the actual book behind you?
That's a poster. This is the predation mouse patent.
Oh yeah.
Some art my
husband I like those mouse patents.
Some art I drew that you probably can't see.
I see a little bit of it. Now I really want to grab this book.
But yeah, I haven't mentioned it. I kind of mentioned it on camera. But look, chat. I'm out of the closet. Like, I have actual stuff behind me. My books, not all of them, but a lot of them. Some art and shit. Like, actual stuff.
So, these are a couple of books I picked up. I picked up Market Forces, which is a mega adventure. You know,
that's a shiny ass cover.
You're
just pointing at the light.
I couldn't see anything. This is a black notebook cover.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the light off of it. So that's Market Forces. That's a mega adventure that they do. And, you know, classic VMV, they still have, like, all of the little counters that they used to use back in the day. So I still love that. I love like those little add-ons. I love the Numenera standees. I thought that was like a undervalued product they released. Standees I love standees. Like I said, it takes me back to the old days. And then of course the War Heroes core book, which is VMV World War II source book, you know, Mighty Protectors. And I picked up this book, which was interesting, the Book of Names. And it literally is just a book of you being able to put together names. They got ways to put together male and female names, you know, for period pieces and so on and so forth. So those were three things.
That's pretty cool.
Those are three things that I picked up. And it's basically, it says on the front, Northern Europe, circa 900 to 13 CE. So, you know, it gives you that nice range of, you know, putting together people's names and stuff. So if you needed some writing accuracy or something.
So I think I'm definitely going to write up some. I think I want to do a Magnus Archive one shot, But I gotta play something. If we're not doing a 1 day con, I gotta play something. I gotta play something and run something. That's before. What is today? Within the next 2 weeks, I have to do one or the other.
Well, Al, I was telling Al off screen before you popped in, and I didn't know that there was actually a Scooby-Doo set of comic books, apocalyptic. I didn't realize they were comic books, but I got the minis and was like stoked. I'm like, okay, zombie apocalypse with Scooby-Doo gang, and now it's like, okay, now I got to get these comic books and run. So that's what I want to do. I definitely want to run, a Scooby-Doo 1 to 2 shot, maybe one, maybe depending on how long it takes, but basically set it up as a 1 shot.
So we'll definitely, that'll be fun. I'll definitely play that. Like I said, I want to play something. I want to run something. I haven't done either in a good 2 months, and it kind of sucks.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna get the comics, and I'm gonna read at least the first, because it ran for 3 years. It ran from 2016 to 2019, and I want to read the first year. But I was just looking at some of the artwork. Man, Fred is all
it's
diesel.
Crazy. It's
Fred
crazy looking.
Diesel, and
is it serious or funny?
It's serious. It's serious. It's like actual, like gritty apocalypse. Like it's yeah.
I'll definitely read those.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get that. I'm gonna just get them in PDF though, so I can read them on my tablet.
So I'm definitely after this. I'm probably gonna probably directly after this. I'll post 2 questionnaires on the YouTube channel, and on the Discord to see if we could get some responses, because I'm curious to see about video game IPs, just video game IPs, to see what will come up of that. And also, I'll start asking if people will be interested in a 1 day con.
Which you should also 1 day of gaming. Remember what he said? Don't call it a con.
A day of adventure.
Day of adventure. But Anthony, also let's do a top 10. Let's see top 10 modern IPs, or TV shows or whatever, TV shows, movies that we'd like to see.
I mean, we've done that already.
We've done that.
I'm saying modern. I'm saying like recent, not. We won't leave the whole gamut open. Like say the last 10 years of what's out there.
That might be a little too niche, but we could definitely talk about it. We'll figure something out.
That might work.
Because you want like when I like post these top 10 lists, if I'm not getting over 100 or 200 people entering, it's almost not worth it posting the top 10 list, because then it's like, oh, we got 3 votes.
Yeah, but I think I think you might be surprised. But yeah, we'll talk about it. But I think, the last 10, 20 years of television and movies, there's been a lot of stuff that could be cipherized, RPG.
Jason hit us with the LL Cool J line. Don't call it a con. I've been here for years.
Nice.
Put GMs to fear. Damage, what? Damage track. That was horrible.
DM Jack said, and something random like Babylon 5 or Lex would take first place. Probably, we last time Babylon 5 Babylon 5 was that's why I said the last 20 years, because if we just look at from 2005 forward to see all the different stuff that's been out there, it's like, I know I watched a few things that caught my interest. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, and I'm not saying that's a bad idea, Dean. I'm not trying to say that at all. What I'm just trying to say is, are we going to get enough votes to go on? Because it's kind of like anticlimactic if we like, and first place with 3 votes is Lex.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm thinking, if you say within the last 20 years,
then that's sort of like what we just did. You know what I mean?
Well, Babylon 5 wasn't on. Babylon 5 was more than 20 years ago. Lex is more than 20 years ago. There's a lot of stuff that was on that list that was more than 20 years ago. And it's crazy to say that because it doesn't seem like it, but it really is. It's like, wow, those shows were on in the 90s, and the 90s are 30 years ago now. What the fuck happened? What happened to all this time? It messes with me sometimes when I sit back and think about it. It's like, how did I get here? How did I get because it, like even this convention, was funny. Because how I am at the convention. I'll go. And because I was.
This program has been deemed too controversial for air and has been terminated by the powers that be.